So the other day we did my top 10 team of the season goalkeepers. In this video today we are going to be ranking the team of the season centre backs. If you want to improve your ultimate team and need some coins to do so, you should check out my sponsor IG Vault. There's a link to do so in the description, and if you use the code Kieran you'll get yourself a nice little discount off your order. So before we get into my rankings, I do want to invite you guys to get involved in the comments below. Let me know at least your top 5 team of the season centre backs, and also let me know which position we should cover next. And on top of that, of course, if you could leave a like rating on the video, that'd be very much appreciated. Definitely does help out the channel a ton when you do so. Okay, so straight into things. We are going to begin obviously at number 10, but we're going to begin with a player which might surprise a bunch of you, and it's actually Galatasaray's Marcao. Hopefully I'm getting his name correct. Now straight up, this is just a really underrated item. I used him quite a bit during the Turkish League team of the season when that was out, when I was doing some reviews, and I really liked this card. I thought it was really solid. He felt quick in game, he was very strong, he was composed in possession, and his tackling ability was just much better than I expected. He was a very dominant centre half, and I just think he's really good. And I'll go back to that comment at the start, underrated as well. I have not seen this guy in an opposition team since, and it kind of surprises me because it's actually a very good looking item. But I guess so many people just go for the more meta options. But ultimately, as I say, this is an effective card. It's definitely worth using, and if you can fit him into your side, at least give him a go, because he's one of the cheaper ones, and I just think he's really good value. So give him a go if you haven't already. He will surprise you. In at number 9 is one that some people might find a little bit controversial. It's actually 94 rated Ruben Dias. Now I'm fully aware some people absolutely love this card, and I think it is a decent item, but I don't think it's a brilliant one. He's one of them cards where I just don't think he performs as well as perhaps his overall rating does indeed suggest. Still a very solid centre back, but ultimately I just think there are many team season options that are better than him in game, which is unfortunate because Ruben Dias has without a doubt being one of the best defenders of the past season, and probably did deserve a bit of a better card. He was absolutely ridiculous for a Manchester City in the past Premier League season and literally changed them completely defensively. He has been such a brilliant centre-back addition. Anyway, in-game, he's very good, very physical, which is something that's big in this year's Ultimate Team. I've said it many times before, you don't actually need that great of tackling in defenders this year. You just need strength and aggression to be able to knock people off the ball, and to be honest, that'll serve you quite well in Ultimate Team. Obviously you will still need to tackle, but for most part you can just knock people off the ball and dispossess them that way, and that is something that Ruben Dias is pretty good at. But for me, in game just isn't anywhere near as mobile as some of the options that are ahead of him, and ultimately I'm a big fan of mobile centre backs, so that's one of the reasons why this guy doesn't rank particularly high. But like I said at the start, I won't be surprised if a lot of people have this card in their personal top 5. Just ahead of him is actually Christian Romero. Now I don't think many people would have expected to see this guy this high, but he's another one that really surprised me in a game. Performs better than his rating suggests, and I touched on it previously when talking about Diaz. I like the more mobile defenders, and this guy has 85 agility, which is actually very high for a centre-back. He's also got incredibly high reactions and some really nice physicals as well, and he just makes for an absolutely excellent centre-back option. And with an anchor on this guy, you get him to 90 pace, you get him to ridiculous defending, ridiculous physicals, and he just makes for an absolutely brilliant centre-back option. So I'm pretty big on this guy, and once again, he's another one which I think is pretty good value in game as well. He's also one which I don't see used too often, which is kind of surprising because, as I say, I just think this card is very good, extremely usable as well, and also he's got low wear rates as well, high wear rates, sorry. So that also can benefit him as a centre-back. Really quick, and just a very nice defensive option. Following on from him, we have the first of many French centre-backs in this video. We have Kounde, who I think is just a really good centre-back in general in this year's Ultimate Team. Obviously his Road to the Final item, which came out earlier in the year, is extremely popular, and that in itself is a very good centre-back card, and this Team of the Season version essentially is just a bit of a better version of that. Now I touched on it in the review that I did of this guy. I don't think this Team of the Season card is a massive upgrade on the Road to the Final item, but it's still an upgrade nonetheless, and it's still a very good good centre-back item. It's another one that's got really good pace, very high reaction stat, pretty good defensive stats, and some nice physicals. And with the right chem style, he just becomes an absolute beast. With an anchor, this guy is just an absolute monster, and obviously he's just very easy to get into high-rated teams as well, thanks to his League and Nation. And yeah, he's just a really, really good centre-back. Obviously, he does lack in the height compared to some other options, but not many people score from crosses this year, and ultimately this guy's got really high jumping as well, so even when people do cross, there is a chance this guy can still win those aerial battles, and on most occasions, he does. So yeah, pretty nice card. Just ahead of him is another French centre-back. It's Wesley Fofana, who I really enjoyed using. I thought he was really, really good, and I still use him to this point. I've got him as a red, and he is one of my go-to centre-back options. I actually prefer him over Ruben Diaz, which I know will come as a surprise to some people, but like I touched on, Fofana's just more mobile than Diaz, and that's one of the reasons why I prefer him over him for my Premier League sides. So yeah, I'm big on Fofana. He's easy to use, he's mobile, he's got some really, really good physicals. Obviously, he does have super high strength, which is great, and his defensive stats are also very, very nice. Do wish he had a bit better defensive awareness, but in game I just think he's a really effective option, and obviously stands at a very good height as well. And on top of all these really, really good defensive stats, he's also got incredible distribution as well. He's got 99 ratings for both short and long passing and decent vision, and the guy can just distribute from all over, which is, you know, a pretty good benefit to have in a centre back. So plenty of positives for this Fofana card, and to be honest, there isn't really a negative for this card. There isn't really a standout negative. Obviously, we would prefer him to be a bit better in the defensive awareness and reaction categories, but still, he's still pretty good at them, and for the rest of the areas, he's just very, very strong. So yeah, another excellent French centre-back team this season option. Okay then, it's now time to break into the top 5, and we start with Marquinhos, who obviously has only just recently come out with the League One team of the season, but he's an excellent card. He really, really is. And if you put an anchor chem style on this guy, he actually becomes a 98 rated centre-back in game, which is pretty damn mad. But obviously, you just look at the card stats and you can see why he's good. He has insane reaction stats, which is big this year, really good defensive awareness, and obviously his tackling and his physical stats are all really high as well. And as I say, all of that put together just makes for a very elite centre-back option. And Marquinhos is just good in game. He's very, very good. He's also got good work rates for a CB as well, with medium high, and stands at a good height as well at 6 foot. 3-star weak foot, 3-star skills, pretty standard for a centre-back. But yeah, great pace, great defending, great physicals, and also pretty nice dribbling for a defender as well. And in game, he's just excellent. He really, really is. I don't think too many people will end up using him though, just because I think they'll go for some more meta options. But Marquinhos is still a really top level effective centre back, and if you can get him into your side, you won't be disappointed. He's very, very good. Probably stating the obvious here as well, but he is like by far the best League One centre back available. I'd probably say the next best option is probably the Future Stars Tabido, which obviously you can't buy. He was an SBC. So yeah, if you need a League One centre back, this card is just, you know, just a no-brainer. Hey look, another French centre-back in my rankings, and surprise, surprise, it won't be the last one. It is the Wolfsburg and France centre-back, Maxence Lacroix, whose name I'm probably getting wrong, but we're going to roll with it anyway. I just really enjoy this card. I think it's a very, very fun item as well, and obviously with him being French, just so easy to get into top level teams this year. We have so many good French centre-backs. It is actually kind of mad. Obviously when this guy first came out, he had a lot of hype around him due to his pace. 90 pace as just a base stat is incredible, and with the right chem style you can get him up to 96 pace, which is pretty damn mad. But on top of being, you know, a very, very quick centre-back, he's also got some really, really solid stats as well, especially in the physical department, with that 99 strength coming as a base stat. He's also got really good shot passing of 98 as well. He does lack a bit in the reaction stat compared to some other centre-backs, but still, because he's so quick, he's just so effective in game. He's also at a really good height as well. He's 6'3" with 90 pace, which is pretty crazy. And yeah, he just makes for an absolute beast of a centre-back. He's one of them that you can pretty much just sprint at someone with, use his pace to get to them, and then use his strength to knock them off the ball, and you'll just have success very easily with this card that way. So yeah, pretty big on this card, and like I say, when I reviewed it and when I've used it since, I've just really enjoyed it. It's a very, very nice centre-back to have in your arsenal. It's actually a Bundesliga centre-back who is just ahead of him at number 3, and it's David Alaba, who is just spectacular. Like, what a card this is. It is ridiculous, and like, his price has just continued to rise since he was released, which is pretty mad, and currently on the PlayStation, he's just under 1 million coins. Now, when you guys are watching this video, depending on when that is, that might have changed a lot, but as things stand, he's just under 1 mil, and to be honest, there's a reason he's that expensive. He is an exceptional item. Not just exceptional as a centre-back either. He's the kind of card that you can play in a bunch of different roles, just because he's got such great stats in, you know, pretty much every area. His shooting isn't that bad, it's not brilliant, but if you put a shooting heavy chem style on him, you actually probably could use him as a striker. But anyway, in this video we're focusing purely on centre back. And what's good about this card? Well, obviously the pace, that is very, very useful. Just the fact he's got a 4-star weak foot as well can be useful for passing out the back. He's also left-footed, which isn't a common thing in the game. Obviously, there are many more right-footed centre-backs than there are left-footed. He's also got insane dribbling for centre-back, like really, really high level, and also ridiculous passing for a defender as well. And then on top of all that, he's pretty good at defending and has some nice physicals as well, so he just makes for an excellent defensive option. And yeah, he truly is incredible. With an anchor chem style, he's a 97 rated centre back, which is pretty damn mad. And in just ahead of him, literally just ahead of him, is Team of the Season Tapsoba, who unfortunately was an SBC card, so if you didn't get him, unfortunately you can't at this point. And this, to be honest, was one of the SBCs of the year. I think he cost around 300k at the time, and he's ridiculous. If this card was on the market, it would be, you know, definitely above that price, even though his nationality isn't too easy to link. But yeah, he is insane. He's actually another one of these cards who does become 97 rated with an anchor or shadow chem style, and all you've got to do is look at his stats to know this card is going to be good. And to be honest, you can try out the Future Stars version of him, which I believe costs around 150k right now, and that is a really good card in itself. And this Team of the Season version of him is just basically an upgraded version. He's got elite pace, like top tier pace, ridiculous defending stats, very good physicals, and also, once again, his dribbling for a defender is very good. And he's also one of these defenders who've got some really good distribution stats as well. 99 ratings for both short and long passing, and an okay vision stat as well, means that this guy can certainly distribute from deep. And you definitely could use this kind of card as a CDM instead of a centre back if you wish to do so. Yeah, in general, Tapsoba, excellent, and I feel like most people knew that coming into this video. And yeah, as I said, the SBC was probably one of the best priced SBCs of the year. Well, we've arrived, and the number 1 Team of the Season centre back for me is obviously Raphael Varane, which I don't think will come as a surprise to anyone at all. I think, yeah, I don't think there'll be any disagreements over this either. Like, Varane in this game, even his non-inform, is incredibly broken, and you could still use non-inform Varane in the game at this point because he's that damn effective. Varane and Gomez this year are just broken, and they just make blocks that other people can. And ultimately, Team of the Season Varane, for me, isn't just the best Team of the Season centre-back in the game, he is the best centre-back in the game. I would use him over icons. I think he's that damn good. I'm not going to go through the stats. You can see them on the screen. We obviously all know he has pretty perfect stats, and with an anchor chem style, you pretty much max out all of his defending and physical stats, which is just pretty ridiculous. And obviously at that point he's also got, you know, 96 pace as well. So yeah, the anchor chem style is definitely the one for this guy. Or if you really want to, you know, truly max it out, I guess you could go with shadow if you want to max out his pace, but that really isn't needed. To be honest, he doesn't really need a pace boost at all. And yeah, you could just put, you know, the sentinel chem style on him, and he actually becomes a 99 rated centre back with that sentinel chem style, which is obviously pretty damn mad. But yeah, as I say, I'm not going to go into detail. All I've got to say is Varane is Varane in FIFA 21. You all know how good he is, and he is just a clear number 1. And there's a reason why he's got a ridiculous price tag on him as well. He is like by far the most expensive Team of the Season defender as well. So guys, there you have it. Those are my top 10 Team of the Season centre backs. I hope you've enjoyed the video. If you have, drop a like rating on it. Be sure to be active in the comments too. Let me know your thoughts on my rankings. Also let me know, you know, your top 5 or at least your top 3 Team of the Season CBs. Thanks for watching, and as always, I'll catch you in the next one.